And I did not realize how emotional I was. I came out here and I was standing here and I was freaking crying. And I didn't realize it because it's a moment for me, like to have, now I have my husband beside me to do it with. And that has been like just such a journey in itself.
You are listening to the 10-4 at R4 podcast, recorded live at RE/MAX R4 2020 from the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. In this episode, we discuss
defining success
with
Sue Pinky Benson of RE/MAX Realty Team from Naples, Florida.
Now, here are your hosts, Jesse Peters and Michael Thorne.
Welcome to the 10-4 at R4 podcast. I am Michael Thorne of RE/MAX Lifestyles Realty in Langley, BC, and in the co-host chair,
Jesse Peters from RE/MAX Executives in Winnipeg, Canada. What is up, my friend?
We are joined by one of my faves.
And you know what? We go back almost 5 R4s ago
Something
to
like
Video Boot Camp.
Sue Pinky Benson. Now,
Love it.
Now, Sue, it's a 10-minute podcast. We don't have a whole lot of time for chit-chat, and I could chit-chat with you all day. We're just going to dive right into it. You and I, all three of us probably have had many, many discussions about this. It's something I'm super passionate about the industry really embracing, and that is definition of success. Mm-hmm. This industry, unfortunately, only really has one metric to define success, and it's the production numbers and close ends. And my definition of success, my personal definition of success, is the amount of hours in a day that I am happy. That's how I define my success. And I think we should all go about our lives really trying to be crystal clear on what our success is, and then pursuing that and trying to get to that point. And it constantly changes. You wrote a blog post, and I will link it somehow into the show notes because it's a must read. Tell us about that blog post. Talk about your pursuit of your success.
Okay, so 5 years ago, just in a couple weeks here, I will have we lost our son Sawyer, and that was the last year that I made 100% club. In the worst year of my life, it was the most successful for my business. And at the time, I didn't even realize what was going on. It was just getting through the day, closing the deal, moving on to the next one. And really, it was more about me functioning during the day. So it was like real estate was there and it was part of what I was doing, but I wasn't concentrating on the numbers. I wasn't concentrating on what was in my bank account. I was just trying to make it. And the year ended and I was in the 100% club, and I came here to Vegas and got my award, and it was such a moment. And it was just kind of shock. I was really here to see you guys and do Video Boot Camp. And then we moved to Naples and I had to start all over again. And, every year it was like, okay, I got to get through this, climb and then get over the mountain and get to the next top, and it was such a struggle. And so then this year.
And are you speaking just professionally, or you're also talking about personally, like struggle and getting to the mountain? I mean, you had moved neighborhoods, you're dealing with a loss in the family, and you're trying to rebuild your business. There's a whole lot of points to your struggle back. It wasn't just a financial transaction one.
No, honestly, visually, what I saw was myself falling off the mountain, being at the bottom, and then climbing, and I saw myself ragged and just blood-stained and teary-eyed and trying to get there, and I was climbing, and that was all I was trying to do, was to make it to that next plateau and just let me get there and let me breathe for a minute and then make it to the next one. And that was business, that was personal.
Yeah.
Just making it through the day sometimes was, wow, I did it. I made it through another day. And that was hard, and it's still hard. It's still something that's part of my life with my family now. And this year, I finally hit that 100% again, and it took 5 years. And so many agents just think that like it's going to happen overnight. I'm going to get my real estate license, and I'm going to be doing this, and I'm going to be killing that. And it's not about that. It really isn't. A couple of years ago, I wrote about, it's not the success. Numbers isn't your success, And I've always said that it's not the number of closings I have. It's the number in my bank account that I can feed my family with.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I have money in there that I can feed them with. It's not about this big, like, award or honor or anything like that. And I got my award yesterday. And I did not realize how emotional I was. I came out here and I was standing here and I was freaking crying. And I didn't realize it because it's a moment for me, like to have, now I have my husband beside me to do it with. And that has been like just such a journey in itself.
And one of the things that's so special about you is I doubt you're the only one going through what you went through in some fashion. What's so inspiring about you to others is your openness and sharing of it, because I think a lot of us think that it's only me. This is only happening to me. I'm only struggling like that. And you've been really, really brave in your transparency of your pursuit of success. And that has helped me. It has helped Jesse. It's been remarkable. And you should be commended for that. And that bravery is helping so many other people. Where do you find is it a courage thing? Is it at hopes of helping someone else? Is it therapeutic for yourself to be so transparent in that? And the blog post was unbelievable, and you said lovely things about Jesse and myself, and that's not why I'm saying it's a great blog post. But
it is, because you guys are in it. So,
but why so transparent about your climb back, which has inspired so many people?
I think that grief is still a nasty word to a lot of people. I remember when I first lost Sawyer and people seeing me for the first time, whether it was the checkout lady at the grocery store and the facial, like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what to say to this woman. And I understand it, and yet I don't understand it. Now I'm on the other side of, like, me going to the grocery store was a journey in itself. In the beginning, I used to have post-traumatic stress right in the middle of the grocery store because now I'm in the aisle with the diapers and I have no baby to put in them. Can you imagine the mental state that you're in when that happens? And so for me, talking about grief, and sharing what I go through is because so many people don't know what to say when somebody loses a child. Don't say they've moved on to a better place. Have you been to that place? Do you remember that place? Don't tell me those things. I just want to know that you're there with me and that I can talk to you and I'm not going to make you uncomfortable. And that's what I've always enjoyed. But with you guys, I always feel comfortable sharing my story.
And Jesse, one of the things that we talk about video boot camps is, the reward that it is to help another agent,
Sure.
And it's nothing financial about it. And it's how do we help people find out what really is actually going to make them successful? Feel successful, because it isn't always a financial pursuit, right? It's like you say, you go home when you're able to help another agent with their business, it makes you a better man.
Sure.
And that's its reward.
That's part of that, right? Filling one's cup, filling one's soul, so that it can overflow and begin to roll into the other areas of our lives. And if we can't fill our own cup or even rebuild that cup and find ways to refill that soul, then you don't have the opportunity to help others. And whether it was finding creative ways to share and connect your soul in so many other ways through video played a portion in that, or just connecting with like-minded people who connect on another level. I think all these mediums come into our lives for certain reasons, and I sit here not very talkative on this one, just looking into Sue's eyes, because I remember some early conversations with yourself and your husband and Bruce Johnson and myself sitting at a round picnic table at the Shake Shack and being like, oh my gosh, and then realizing you have a Sawyer and I have a Sawyer,
know.
right? And there's so much that's like, sorry, I'm just sitting here like
we're all gonna lose
actually,
it.
but just so proud of you and your family on what you're going through, because you're in Florida, I'm in Winnipeg, but we're connected through video and social and putting ourselves out there in a lot of other ways. So I love you.
I love
That's
you
amazing.
too. I love both of you very much.
So Sue, I have no idea if you know this. You've been pursuing this particular part of your life, this success. You've achieved it. Congratulations. It's amazing. What's next now for Sue Pinky Benson on that climb up the mountain? Do you have something that you're like, it doesn't have to be business. It could be running a marathon or doing something else. What's the next piece of success for you?
Well, for me, I love training. I love,
and you're remarkable at it.
Well, thank you.
You
I
are
learned
remarkable
from some good
at
guys.
it.
So I love to help the other agent fill their cup, and share the cup together. I love that attribute or respect there. And now I have Josh beside me in my business, and so I've been training him.
He's getting pinker and pinker. Have you noticed that in the videos?
But he's starting to get his own swagger. Like, he's starting to find his own mojo, which is all part of it, right? Like,
it's been great watching him grow.
Yeah.
So we're growing. We want to double, where we're at this year. So we have lofty goals this year. But I'm about to go over to CMN and drop off a check for nearly $5,000. So that was a huge thing for us this year because we've wanted to do the fundraiser for Sawyer, and we finally did it this year. And I'm super excited to do this.
Well, you know what? We're about to enter the Rapid Four, and it just seems like it's like the worst segue ever, but here we go.
Now it's time for the R4 Rapid Four.
All right, Sue, before the podcast started, you rolled that dice 4 times. Didn't even ask why you were doing it. You just did it.
Because you told me to do it, I do it.
Because
I just trust you.
Because the trust. So silly. In Jesse's hand, he's holding 10 nonsensical, silly questions that we'd like you to answer
Jesse,
4
this
of.
ought to be great.
On her first roll, Sue rolled an 8.
oh, if animals could talk, which animal would be the rudest?
Well, I think a pig. Pigs can be pretty rude. They're snorty. They're kind of smelly.
They're bitey. I'll tell you that. I've got a farm story about that, but you're right. Pigs are.
Firm, understandable. Okay.
Number 7.
This is one of my favorite ones. How long would you last in the zombie apocalypse?
I actually have focused on this a lot. Okay.
Wait, that's the second person who said they focused on
Sure.
You watched The Walking Dead a few
I
times,
do.
and you're like, all right, how am I going to roll this if this happens?
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So how long would you last?
I'm lasting a long time. I am the leader. All right? Just right there. Everybody will be in pink, and the zombies will not be. All right?
Good answer. Let me check. That's correct. Number 9.
In those first few seconds, are you hoping it's Ice Baby or Under Pressure?
Ice, baby, too cold.
She got 2 right. Pigs, she might be 3 for 3. Number 6.
How many chickens would it take to kill an elephant?
1 chicken.
That's the thing. 4 for 4.
And
Sue.
how would that chicken accomplish that?
How would the chicken accomplish killing the elephant?
Correct.
It's got to do with that. What do they call that thing?
Beak?
The trunk.
The trunk.
The beak in the trunk.
So
The
the
trunk.
chicken would
Take
deuce
out the trunk. Yep. Mm-hmm.
'Kay.
That's it. Yeah.
'Kay.
That elephant wouldn't know what's coming.
Noted.
That brings
Don't
us to
fall
the
on the
end
chicken.
of this episode of the 10 Forward R4 podcast with our guest, Sue Pinky Benson. Thanks for joining us. My co-host is the affable
What does that even mean?
Jesse Peters, and I'm Michael Thorne. We'll see you in the next one. Over and out.
That's this week's episode of the 10-4 at R4 Podcast with your hosts Jesse Peters and Michael Thorne. Don't forget to join us next week for another episode. Thank you for watching.